not be forthright about it, not report it to the IMF, deal directly with the refineries in South Africa and Switzerland, not report that to the IMF. Why would they? And if they realize that just by lip service, just by saying that they can knock the price down and subsidize their future purchases, it would be in their vested interest. And if someday, as the head of the Dutch National Bank talks about, we see a gold revaluation, well, look at how much gold we actually have. And here it is, come and audit it. And now it's revalued to a much higher level. So,
welcome back to an explosive episode with Andy Schectman. Today, we're uncovering a clandestine operation that could reshape the global gold market, China's covert gold accumulation strategy. Officially, China's gold reserves have stayed at 1,200 metric tons. But what if they're secretly hoarding much more? Andy dives into the hidden tactics of state-owned proxy banks, unreported dealings with South African and Swiss refineries, and the potential for a massive gold revaluation. Discover why China might be playing the ultimate gold game and what it means for the future. This is one episode you can't afford to miss.
look, as I said before, first of all, let's start with the United States. When was the last time we updated and audited our gold holdings at the Treasury or Fort Knox? I believe it was 1953. We haven't reported or done anything to clarify just how much gold is there, even at the behest of Ron Paul, who was voted down, yes, by Congress. I don't know who voted him down, but they never did allow the audit to happen. Why would it be in the vested interest of a country like China to tell us the truth? You know, they tell us they only have about 2,600 metric tons of gold, yet since 2000, at least, they've been producing anywhere between 400 and 500 metric tons a year, even call it 200 metric tons a year. The numbers would be extraordinarily higher than what they are. And my entire career, Chris, everyone would always say that the Chinese are very much not forthright with how much gold they accumulate. In fact, their numbers would stay around 1,200 metric tons forever, and they would never update them. And I think it would be in their vested interest to keep that close to the vest. And I think it's phooey. Aside from that, you know, much of the gold could be accumulated by their state-owned proxy banks that would then, at the behest of the PBOC, accumulate metal, not be forthright about it, not report it to the IMF, deal directly with the refineries in South Africa and Switzerland, not report that to the IMF. Why would they? And if they realize that just by lip service, just by saying that they can knock the price down and subsidize their future purchases, it would be in their vested interest. And if someday, as the head of the Dutch National Bank talks about, we see a gold revaluation, well, look at how much gold we actually have. And here it is, come and audit it. And now it's revalued to a much higher level. So just like it doesn't do any good to talk about the trades that these institutions are making to crowd themselves out, as people are gobbling up information at the speed of sound, why would they want to tell us that this is our primary objective, to accumulate all the gold? So no, I don't believe it. I think it's nothing but conjecture. I don't care who's saying it. I think it's propaganda. I don't think they've stopped buying gold. In fact, they're probably increasing it, just not running it through state channels that report it to the IMF. I have no proof of that, but that's my feeling. He said that a while ago. I remember talking about that several months ago. They talk about that. If everything goes to hell, at least we have our gold, we can start over. I'm pretty sure this is an older comment, but regardless, the point is that they understand what it is. It's wealth outside the system. And, you know, Alistair McLeod, coincidentally, will tell you that he believes that China has 38,000 metric tons, very similar to what you're saying. And to your point, he believes that 18,000 perhaps is in the hands of the people, 20 in the hands of the state. Whatever it is, I'll just simply say the numbers are, in my mind, are way understated, and it wouldn't behoove them or any other sovereign nation, including the United States, to be forthright about how much they have. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, everyone's expecting it into the election. It's very politicized at that point. I mean, if they were going to do it, you could argue they should have already done it. But ultimately, I don't think it changes very much. I think the long end of the bond market ultimately marches higher. And when you're talking about 25 basis point rate cuts, while the effect is not really substantial, I think the perception is, and that the perception is that the Fed will never normalize their balance sheet, that they will choose austerity well after they do inflation, that inflation will be the way that they try and get their way out of this mess of $1 trillion in debt every 100 days. You can add more to that now. That's $100,000 a second. You can add more to that now if they lower rates, and it just will reignite the inflation engine, by which we're lied to as to what those levels truly are anyway. So it's just a game, and it doesn't mean a whole lot. If they really wanted to do something about it, fine, drop rates 100 basis points, not 25. Do it all at once. But they're not going to do that. This is all politicized and nonsense, and in the end, won't do anything but continue to diminish our reputation on the world stage, in my opinion. Price needs to be revalued, according to the Dutch National Bank. If every one of these countries has been buying gold and accumulating it on their balance sheet, valued at $35 an ounce, mind you, in all of these central bank balance sheets, I think, yes, the price of gold would have to be either revalued, or you would have to expand the gold market. But by seeing all of these countries bring their gold back and accumulate it in the levels that they are, I think it's massively bullish for gold. And when we talk about, to your point, the Treasury reserve capacity, look, the Treasury can be weaponized. Who the hell wants to hold treasuries anymore that are weaponized? And when you look at gold, it's outperformed the Treasury market for 50 years. Just now, doubled the performance over the last 25 years without the risk, without the geopolitical risk, the confiscatory risk, the sanction risk. So yeah, I do think it will be incredibly bullish for gold. And I also think if you read that white paper, they talk a little bit about the fact that what will start out as a common settlement currency, this unit, will turn into something valued more than just the gold value. It will have a supply-demand fundamental. And if all of a sudden we move to a system that inspires trust, rather than one where they have to rely upon a government that is broke, insolvent, and going around the world and imposing their will in what is viewed as a hypocritical position, yeah, the demand for the unit could explode, and it could become, as the paper describes, a unit of settlement that actually becomes worth more than the underlying assets based upon supply and demand. But to your point, yeah, the gold market will expand and will be revalued, or a combination of the both.
Thank you for joining us for this eye-opening episode with Andy Schectman. China's secretive gold strategy could have profound implications for the global economy and the future of gold. If this revelation shocked you, smash that like button and subscribe for more groundbreaking insights. Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. We're eager to hear from you. Stay curious, stay ahead, and we'll see you in the next thrilling episode.